Baweep Grana Weep Nitty Bong, everybody. I am Engineer Hoist, and welcome to the Transformers Earth Wars weekly news stream. I guess is kind of really what it is. The unofficial, really, because it's on my channel, not theirs. But yeah, we're here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to join us live, if you happen to be catching the replay, these guys are joining us live. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to everybody joining in. We got Gen 1, Red Alert, Big D, Monkey Man, a lot of familiar faces here. Aiden, Robinette, Kultaj, sorry, I'm not going to try your last name. Jameis Vega, Bradley Benny, Old Car Starscream was here first, pretty much right after I scheduled this. Woody's here. Sentius Magnus 54, Michael Cianciolo, I think. I'm just butchering these names. I'm sorry, guys. Mr. Jeff, Demise Break, Jorge Ramirez, Teresa Correas, welcome everybody, welcome. Sharks who just joined us. Let's go ahead and get to the news. There's not a whole lot to it, but there's a few things to talk about. So the name of this weekend's event is called Survival Instinct. And you can probably tell from this slide, it is a Prime Core event. It's the same type of Prime Core event that we've become accustomed to getting about once a month or so. So you can win up to 3,000 Prime Core shards, 3,000 Premium shards, which is good for 3 Premium crystals, and up to 30,000 Spark. And how do you do that? It's an individual event, which means your success or failure is entirely up to you. You can't ride the back of your alliance on this one. And there are 30 prestiges, and you get triple XP. And to participate in any event, you have to be a headquarters level 4, and then you tap that yellow event button and select an event battle zone and all of that good stuff as shown on the screen. Most of you guys know how this works, so let's move on. Just like all of the Prime Core events, the battle zones are all equal. You can win up to an equal maximum of 10 points per battle zone, whether you're battling in Zone 1 or Zone 14. This is an excellent time to power level your bots, because dropping a few zones to send in fewer bots to power level is going to get you the same amount of points. You don't have to sacrifice points to power level. So this is an excellent time to get in there and go level your bots, especially just like every weekend when you get that triple XP. Grand Galvatron, good to see ya. Yes, Monkey Man, Prime Core event. And here are the prizes. You get this for each prestige. Every 10 points you get 20 Prime Core shards. At 20 points you get 100 Premium shards. 10 more you get 10 more points you get 30 Prime Core shards. 10 more points you get 1,000 Spark. And then finally 50 Prime Core shards for a total of 100 Prime Core shards each prestige. 30 prestiges gets you 3,000 Prime Core shards. They've done pretty much what they've said. About every 2 Prime Core events, you can get yourself a new Prime Core for your team if you are able to complete the event. If not, you save them up. It might take you 3, it might take you 4, it might take you 5. It all depends on how much you want those Prime Cores. It depends on what your schedule is and stuff like that. So there you go. Prime Core event, just like we're used to. Of course, we've got all of the Prime Cores in the game already. They've all been released that we know of anyway. I don't have any information, I'm just saying, because we've got 12 Prime Cores out there, and there were 13 Primes. So who knows whether we're going to get a 13th Prime or if that's just going to leave it at the 12. There's no empty spot there, so anyway. But nobody's got all 12 yet, so we still need to keep doing these things. And even once it gets to the point where some people get 12, there's going to be other people that don't. So they will still keep having these. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have an idea for hooking up people who do end up having all of the Prime Cores to still get a benefit from this event. They haven't said what that's going to be yet, but I've got a feeling they've got a plan for that. So let's see. Okay, so, and honestly, other than some bugs and stuff like that, that was pretty much all the news. But so I figured, hey, we'd talk about Blades a little bit more, since we did get a reveal of Blades and Dirge as the last bots, or the new bots coming in a couple of weeks, probably another 2 or 3 weeks from now, probably in a leaderboard. No word on that yet, but it's pretty good chance these guys are going to be a leaderboard event. So there's a shot of Blades in his bot mode. We haven't seen any images of him in his vehicle mode. We may see that tomorrow during the official live stream. But in the meantime, I figured I'd give you guys a preview of what he's going to look like. So here is the Combiner Wars Blades in his vehicle mode. Yes, just like Alpha Bravo or Vortex. I would say Storm Clash or Skyburst, except they do have a little bit of a remolding. They don't have the missiles on the arms. And of course, it doesn't really make sense having missiles on the arms for a rescue helicopter. Maybe they're rescue missiles. That's what they are. They're rescue missiles. They shoot out to deliver the medical supplies very fast to anybody who's in trouble. That's what they are. They're not actually damaging. They're rescue missiles. Yeah. So there you go. So that's what he's going to look like. Yeah, we've seen him before in the game. If you've got Alpha Bravo or if you've got Vortex for the Decepticons, this is what Blades is basically going to look like. It's going to look like those guys with the new paint job and probably a new head. There you go. There's Blades. And yes, we are working our way towards Defensor. I don't know if they've officially confirmed it yet, but it's pretty well confirmed. Even the story last week, they're already hinting at a few more Protectobots to come. They name dropped Blades, and they even dropped Groove in one of the storylines, but there was also a ... So it's probably leaning a little bit more likely that we're going to be seeing Groove as opposed to Rook, even though Impactor looks exactly like Rook. So it does seem like they're leaning a little bit more towards Groove. But that ... means that there could be another one. Maybe we'll get both. Who knows? I mean, we do have both of them in the original configuration of Defensor before they released a deluxe Groove. So, Demise Break saying rescue missiles might be the abilities. Right. Dirty Spot's thinking Groove is going to be a Chance Crystal. Or Rook. It's not guaranteed yet, unless there's people who's gone and done some shady stuff. Yes, I saw you guys already kind of mentioning that. We will touch on that in a little bit. Where am I going? I'm trying to get back over here. Okay. So there we go. We've got Dirge. Dirge is the counterpart to Blades. He's not part of a combiner, but he is part of a couple of teams, really. He's a Seeker, just like Starscream and Thundercracker, but he's also a Conehead, along with Ramjet and Thrust. So there's a look at his bot mode that we saw last week. And if we come back, again, this is the Iron Factory Dirge that I have. I don't remember what the third-party name is, but it's the only Dirge that I have. So he's a little bit smaller, but it's essentially going to look something like this. This is pretty close to what Dirge actually looked like. He's blue. He has the kind of gold, brown, mustard yellow kind of almost wings. And I can't remember if he actually had the fins up here or not, because I remember like Ramjet and Dirge and maybe even Thrust didn't actually have the tail fins, because I think the edges of the wings were much taller originally for the tail to kind of acted like tail fins or the rudder or whatever. So but anyway, but oops, almost dropped him there. But no, that's what this guy is. He's got the tail fins. But so yeah, so there's kind of a preview of what Dirge might look like, because we haven't actually seen him in there. So how would a Conehead and a motorcycle go together? No idea. Okay, let's get back over there. And I think the last slide is, yeah, just a reminder of the official live stream. It is tomorrow. And they say Nathan Webb, if we're all familiar with Nathan Webb, we know he's a fantastic artist. He lives over there in the UK near where the Space Ape studio is. He's dropped in a few times, done a win, lose, or draw type of a thing where he gets up on the whiteboard and draws some characters for everybody in the stream to guess. So he's going to be back there. And they also say the team is going to talk about some big surprises. So, what do you think big could be? So, yeah, and I see you guys already talking there. It's Austin is kind of hitting on it. And yeah, Tripticon and Metroplex, that was going to be my speculation. And then I was made aware shortly before the stream that there was some leakage there, and I can tell you now that leakage did not come from any of the YouTubers because we don't have that information. It wasn't given to us. We never got that. All we got is what I presented to you from the newsletter and what is in the newsletter. Where those images came from, I don't know, but I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant right here. It kind of irks me that somebody would go and do that. Anytime there's a leak, it kind of ruins the fun of the speculation. I mean, you think about even things like, let's go talk about Endgame. Avengers Endgame is one of the biggest movies that, with all sorts of secrets, they had spoiler bans, like no spoilers. Everybody, no spoilers, no spoilers. But you still had some people who wanted to go out there and ruin the fun for everybody else and wants to go out there and say, hey, this is what happened. There was even a story of somebody off in, I want to say the Philippines, came out of the movie, said a whole bunch of spoilers, and then people went and actually beat him up. Now that's maybe going a little bit too far, so I don't want to advocate violence or anything, but really, that's just a terrible person to go ruin the fun. I mean, you try to avoid, I mean, I didn't see it opening day or opening night. I went and I had to wait a couple of days. And so what I did, I basically stopped looking at YouTube feed, stopped looking at the Facebook feed, because a lot of the things that I follow were talking about that. So, and I didn't want any spoilers, because I remember leading up to Deadpool 2, one of the videos, I think we're beyond spoilers for Deadpool 2, so one of the videos, before I'd even seen it, had flashed a big picture of Juggernaut. I'm like, oh, thanks for the spoiler, guy. Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing here. They've been teasing that the Titans are coming. People have been asking for it. They've been coy about it, for months now. Hey, oh well, we might, and then even just today in the newsletter, big surprises. I'm like, yes, cool, let's go and talk about, let's go speculate on what that could mean, because it sounds like the Titans might be coming soon. And then some jerk goes out and finds these pictures or leaks these pictures and puts it out there, and I'm gonna call it the forum who actually went and put that out, and it didn't come from an official source. That was very irresponsible of them to go do that and ruin it for people. It's since been taken down, probably because Space Ape saw that and said, hey guys, don't put that up. Or maybe it did come from an official source and they weren't supposed to put it up. I don't know. And that's probably the most likely thing to happen, and say, hey guys, this is going to be coming soon, don't talk about it yet. And then whoever over there is just like, yeah, hey, let's be the first one out there, and then goes and ruins it. And honestly, I'm mad because it goes and makes it awkward for everybody trying to report on it and trying to have fun speculating it. And so here we are, I have to go on a rant, and yeah, so I don't get fired up that often, but it happens. So, okay, rant over. But yeah, so Trypticon, Metroplex, pretty sure they're coming. It's not official yet, but if you've seen the pictures, those aren't fake. So they'll probably be talking about it tomorrow. But I was going to speculate on it. I was even probably going to bring in my Trypticon and Metroplex figures, and but yeah, so I kind of lost the desire to do so when I saw all of that stuff, So, but anyway, so since it's there, let's pretend it's speculation. What do you guys think about the possibility of Metroplex and Trypticon? One thing we don't know is how they're going to be in the game, though. Yeah, big deal. It grinds my cogs. Yes, I like that. I might need to have a. I don't want to be a rant kind of a channel, because people who do, and there's some people who that's all they do, and that's tiring. But I might need to have that in as a segment occasionally if it happens. Yes, I like that. It really grinds my cogs. I could even go with grinds my gears and pull out a figure of Gears or something. So. But yeah, but like I was saying, it's like, okay, so let's go with the fact that, yeah, Metroplex and Trypticon are probably coming. Pretty certain that they're coming. They've always been coming. So the question is, though, what's the game mode going to be? How is it going to be? Are they just going to be big characters? Like maybe, because a while back we were speculating on, say, Overlord and Omega Supreme. I see Sentius Magnus in there mentioning Omega Supreme. We were speculating on that a little while ago about those guys. They would be great to have, but they're much larger than everybody else. But the thing is, they're roughly combiner size. So could we have something similar to a combiner? Although they wouldn't necessarily be a team, they would function more as like a triple changer, but would be deployed similar to a combiner. Like you would have to use OR 13 or something like that to deploy them. They wouldn't take up a spot on your shuttle. Maybe something like that. I was thinking for Omega Supreme or Overlord. What about Metroplex or Trypticon? I mean, they've already kind of made the bases, at least at HQ 16, Metroplex and Trypticon inspired colors. So are they going to be related to the base defense only, or are they going to be bots that we can attack with? And you know, this is going to be a real challenge because these guys, they're the size of cities. I mean, they are literally the size of your base. If you put one base against another base, he just takes a step and your base is obliterated. Or if they've got you sending in bots to attack, one step or one swat of the hand, and the entire team is obliterated. So it's going to be real interesting to see what they come up with to bring in these guys. There's got to be a whole nother game mode that's not going to be what we're used to. I mean, the raids, I've never been a big fan of the raids. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not a big fan of the raids, but I know a lot of you guys are, and hey, cool. But you know what? The raids, it's a different game mode, but still kind of the same. It's just harder bases, you know, is really what it is. It's just, you know, the base is cranked up 20 levels. But could these Titans be something different? I don't know. What do you guys think? Altar Starscream saying maybe it'll replace HQ 16.1. Let's see. Demise Break saying this should be a combiner outpost to use them as if defending the base only. There's an idea. Grand Galvatron says the only reason we enjoyed the raids is when a glitch came out and made them easy to destroy. Shadow Prime, leader of the Shadow Brothers, says I'd like to think the base is a Titan because you could pretend, for example, that the orbital strike from Metroplex or Trypticon. Yeah, right. Like if you like for your battle boost, if you send an orbital strike, it just comes from nowhere. It's like you called for orbital strike and Metroplex shoots it and lands on there. Yeah, that's cool. Sharksy battle out Titans as an alliance. That would be similar kind of as a raid mode, because you know just each taking their turn and then dying. Cool Tide saying take one step and take the whole base out. It's Austin saying probably a campaign to unlock them. Big Bronze Rim's hoping it's a new mode. The content is stale. Yeah, kinda. That's Sharksy said, yeah, maybe like every Tuesday and Wednesday you can fight them and destroy them and get rewards. Yeah, kind of like how they're doing with the raids. Maybe swap out raids versus Titan battle or something, maybe. Shadow Kill saying COG is a part of Metroplex. Actually, COG was Fortress Maximus. I don't have him here. The COG in the Siege line, he's actually part of Fortress Maximus, the other Autobot Titan. The guy who's in the Siege line who's part of Fortress Maximus, I happen to have sitting right here, and that's 6 Gun. This guy goes with Fortress Maximus. So, I'm sorry, Metroplex. This guy goes with Metroplex, is 6 Gun. So, I don't expect to see him in the game or COG. And in fact, Brunt is going to be another one of those, what do they call them, weaponizers? It goes along with Trypticon. He's not out yet, though. But I'm looking forward to seeing that one come out. Let's see. Sparkletron Prime, good to see you, man. Welcome back. Red alert saying Tauntaun has a review up of Brunt. He was going to watch it, but my stream notification came up. Hey, cool! I'm glad to see that you've got your priorities straight and that you're coming by to hang out here instead of going in and watching a review of that. And it's interesting. I wonder. He always seems. I've never actually watched any of those videos, but I'm familiar with that channel, and always seems to be having a review first. I wonder if he just happens to be in a country where they get the figures out first, because that does happen. I know that some figures tend to release in Asia before they release in the United States or something like that. Or does he have some kind of a hookup with the factory where somebody kind of shoves it in a backpack or a purse or something, says, hey, here's your hookup. You can be the first one on YouTube with a review. And, you know, that's kind of shady, and I hope that's not what it is. I hope he just happens to live in a market where they happen to get the figures soon. And if that's cool, I mean, if that's what it is, then that's cool, and I'm totally okay with that. My stuff usually comes in. There's usually, you know, figures already out by the time I get mine in. So I know some of the bigger YouTubers like MGO or something. They have friends or at least connections in various parts of the world, or they scour eBay or various other online sites to be able to try to get things as soon as they possibly can, so they can get the reviews out for everybody, so they can be, you know, first to the review. And you know, I get that, but it's, you know, that's not something. I'm not big enough to be worried about that. Let's just say it. I mean, when's the last time I did a review? January, I think, when we talked about Ismenios. I just can't seem to get to it. Big Bronze Rim saying you get stuff from the factory. Yeah, see, that I don't like. So that's I kind of had that feeling too when it comes out that early. Let's see, Sharksy backstory. He was banned from almost every Facebook Transformers group because he steals toys from the factory. Well, there you go. So I don't know for sure. So I mean, my gut feeling would say if that's the truth, then nobody should watch it. But I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say that. If you guys, and you know, if you guys want to go watch it, then go watch it. You know, that's fine. I mean, I'm not your daddy. Even if I was, you'd probably disobey me anyway. You bunch of little. Anyway, I'll just play it around. So you know, that's all good. Oh, Woody, there you go. He says that Skylinks behind you looks awesome. You know, I mentioned it last week that somebody asked, I don't remember if it was Woody or if it was somebody else asking, saying, hey, what about that Inventa Magna, that MMC Inventa Magna you were telling us about? You had Magna sitting up there for a long time. You said you got the Inventa. Did you ever get them and put them together? And last week I was like, no, I still haven't. But I'm going to have it for you next week, which is this week. And there he is. And we've even got the little Combiner Wars Skylinks over here too, so you can kind of see. This is the little Combiner Wars Skylinks. It's a Voyager. It doesn't even come apart. I have to be kind of careful with this one. I mean, you can see how big he is. I mean, look at him compared to this Masterpiece Starsaber over here. He is at the head. He is as tall as Starsaber. And he's quite heavy also. So yeah, so here he is, and I don't even have room to have him with his full wingspan, so I had to fold those in. So there's him with his full wingspan. It's immense. It's amazing, and yeah, he is just crazy heavy compared to the Combiner Wars. I mean, look at this. The Magna part, just the Lynx part is bigger than this toy. And I said it before, just the bottom part, just the Lynx part, is probably heavier than the Titan figures. And then you throw this guy on top. So there he is. And yeah, the neck is not as strong as I'd like. It's a little droopy, but if you're not messing him around, I mean, you saw it's actually staying there pretty good. So yeah, here he is, and even the tail's pretty posable. It generally stays in place. But oh, this is if you can afford it, This is a fantastic piece to have. But he's not cheap. I mean, he's probably about $250 all told between the two pieces. But he's part of their reformatted line, which is essentially the Chug, the Deluxe and Voyager kind of line. So he's meant to fit in with that, and he was always a large figure to begin with. But he's big enough that he would fit just fine on a Masterpiece shelf if you wanted to. So, oh, my arm's sore. That dude's heavy. By the Allspark, I need him. Big Bronze Rim saying, what do I think about the MP47 Black Arachnia? Pre-ordered immediately. She looks fantastic. Now, here's the crazy thing about Black Arachnia is I'm a big arachnophobe. I don't like spiders. Now, I'm not scared to death of them. I don't have any problem killing them if they try to come after me, even though I know that's not what they're doing. Or if they're somewhere in my house where they're not supposed to be, I have no problems taking a shoe and go whack. But a friend of mine tried to get me to watch Arachnophobia, that movie, a while ago, and I only got about 10 minutes into it, and I started to have a panic attack. And I don't have panic attacks. I was just like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. But I'm getting Black Arachnia. I saw the pictures of her in her spider mode. I'm like, she will be in that mode one time for a picture, maybe not even a picture, and then she's just going to be in her robot mode because, no, I don't, yeah, it kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies or whatever. So, yeah, but yes, definitely definite pre-order, and especially the fact that it comes with that spider web that you can have her displayed on. Oh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, speaking of Masterpiece Beast Wars Transformers, give me a second here. Not going to be as amazing as what you thought. This guy came in the other day. I managed to get him out of the box to look at him and make sure everything is there, and he is huge. I'm looking forward to getting this guy out and messing around with him. And I am just a little disappointed that there's no rubber ducky. He does come with a toothbrush, though, apparently. There's a toothbrush where it shows him, I don't know if you can see that, it shows him holding the toothbrush, brush it in robot mode, brushing his dinosaur head mode's teeth. So that's pretty crazy, and I have no doubts that there will be a third party somewhere, somehow, that makes a rubber ducky for this guy. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to get him. I took the plastic out of the package, but I haven't taken the figure out of the plastic yet. Sharksy says 0 of 10, no rubber ducky. That was a failed. Not worth the price. Destroyer Fire Rage, I don't have any crystals, my friend. No crystals today. Oh, T-Man found some duckies that fit and scale with him. Oh, I might have to go check that out. I imagine he put that on YouTube, or is that in some Facebook group? So I follow him on YouTube. I just haven't been watching YouTube videos lately. Gonna buy some crystals because I'm rich. I'm okay. I can afford things, but I'm not rich enough that I can just spend money willy-nilly. I do have a budget, and I don't have the budget for the crystals right now, or at least not for ones that. The crystals right now are the Dinobot Combiner Bundle. I've got 4-star Volcanicus. I've got all the Dinobots. I don't need them. I mean, sure, I could get them. Maybe I'll get a 4-star, get some 5-star shards, get some power cores and stuff like that. I'm okay. if he did come with a rubber ducky, would it float? Probably not, because it'd be a small little thing to scale with him. I highly doubt that it would be fitting. Red alert! I don't know if you managed to find him yet, but I did manage to find this. This guy came in along with that Beast Wars Megatron. This is that Studio Series Bumblebee Optimus Prime, the Studio Series 38, SS38. And I literally just took him out of the package like right before the stream, so I haven't even transformed him yet or anything like that. But one leg's a little loose, but other than that, he's a solid figure, and he looks great. I compared him to the Studio Series. I'm sorry, the Siege Optimus Prime. And here, we'll let you guys go get those. Oh, you got yours Sunday morning. You got yours before me then, dude. I'm glad you've managed to find him. So there he is with Siege Optimus Prime. They're basically the same height, and they're both really good looking. There's just different aesthetics. Obviously, the Studio Series one is movie aesthetic, where it's more realistic, more gears and pulleys and chains and stuff like that, whereas the Siege one is more cartoony because it's meant to be more like comic book and cartoon style. But honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. I know that the Siege Optimus Prime is fantastic, both modes. Transformation is a joy. This guy looks great in robot mode. Haven't seen him other than in pictures in vehicle mode, nor have I transformed him, so I can't say. Although the Studio Series figures do tend to be a little bit more complex, so whether it's a joy or not remains to be seen. I will report to you next week. Let's see. Is that Defensor in the background? That is indeed Defensor. He is missing an arm, though, because that's where Blades goes. Yeah, I ran out of time. I was almost going to put Groove up there as the arm, but Groove is already on the chest piece. But, you know, if he's got two grooves, I guess that makes him extra groovy. Yeah, a little late on the rim shot there, but no, I totally didn't plan that joke. Yeah. So, Riddler saying going to make a review of the Optimus Prime. Cool. You had to use nail polish to tighten up the pegs on the back of his legs and the ankle. Oh, okay. Let's see. Best core for Cheetor? Rejuvenate? Yeah, I've got Rejuvenate on my Cheetor. Amalgamus would be great. Oktar Starscream saying, can't wait for the Siege show on Netflix. Oh, that's right, they are doing one of those, aren't they? Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at the comics, but the IDW comics, they kind of rebooted, and so I read the first couple of issues, not episodes, in comics, they're issues, and they're basically using the Siege toy designs in the comics, and pretty cool, pretty cool. Was that a pun? Yes, it was definitely a pun. Rimshot was a cringe. Okay, thanks. That's what I was going for. All right, Red. Good luck, man. Enjoy that Brunt stream or video. Grant Galvatron. Yes, that is a Siege Starscream back over there. Wait, we'll get to him in a second, though. Didn't somebody ask to see Ironhide? Yeah. So if you're still here, there's Ironhide. This is the Siege Ironhide. He's really cool looking in robot mode. Vehicle mode's just okay, and he does have a couple of loose flaps there on his legs, but you know they stay pretty well. I do like his gun though. It's pretty cool. I just kind of have him holding it, like he's not actually trying to shoot it. He's just carrying it from one battle to another. Otherwise, you know, you could put it in his arm or in his hand, but then it's very long, and he basically can only hold it with his arm straight out because it's so long. And you may have also seen this configuration where you can kind of, I didn't quite get that in there very well. There we go. You can hold it like this, and you flip that over, and then it's kind of a hammer. works pretty cool. You know, it's kind of, you know, or it's kind of like a periscope rocket launcher. If he's behind a wall, he can just kind of stick this up. You know, he's behind a wall, he just kind of sticks this up and fires missiles. You know? But yeah, I kind of like neither one of those. I guess the hammer is okay, but oh, yeah. See what I was talking about? The little parts that tend to pop off sometimes, but they pop back on just as easily. So yeah, I just kind of like to display him, you know, like he's carrying that. You know, the battle's over. He's heading home, and he's just taking his gun with him. And then here's Starscream. I think we've taken a look at him a week or two ago. This is the Siege Starscream. Great figure. Really great figure. About the only complaint that I have is the same complaint that I've seen other reviewers or other YouTubers have, is the chest piece. It fits perfectly snug in robot mode. It fits perfectly snug in vehicle mode. But when you untab it to transform him, it gets loose and it pops off. But you know, it's only during transformation. If it was a problem when he's static in either mode, then that would be a real problem. But during transformation, okay, so he turns into a parts former. You're kind of parts formering a little bit anyway with the moving his guns around. One of the cool things I do like about this, and I'm pretty sure it's been mentioned before, is you don't see this too often on actual mainline Hasbro toys. You do see it occasionally on third-party toys. Look at the back of his legs there. It's all filled in. It's kind of spring-loaded. So you can get a nice deep knee bend. Plus, it's also so what that does is, it's kind of hard to show on video, but the upper part of his leg kind of pushes on that. It helps him get a deeper bend in the knee. And it's also, it does that mostly for transformation, but it also does help with posing. But a lot of figures that do that, it's just hollow here. It's just hollow here. So the fact that they did this is just, it's great. I love that they did that. So, wonder why the Decepticons have the light piping and the Autobots don't? Yeah, you know, I didn't really notice his light piping until just now, and it probably is not come in for you guys, but with the bright light behind him and looking at me, it looks great. Trust me. See, guys, I'm looking at it. It looks great. Can't you see it? I'm just messing with you. But you know, it didn't even occur to me that, yeah, the Autobots, you know, Ironhide doesn't have it. Maybe they're just so evil that their eyes glow with evil. That's what it is. Their eyes glow with evil. Or something. Let's see. Big Bronze Rim's asking if I got Fans Toys Road King. No, I haven't. I actually got the. I'm going the X-Transbots route. I've got the Dead End and Breakdown. So I decided to go the X-Transbots route. You know, honestly, I don't think I have any Fans Toys figures. Not for any reason other than I just never got any Fans Toys figures. Says he's an engineering feat with all with the all-in-one transformation. You know, I haven't even seen any reviews on him yet. I've watched a number of Fans Toys figure reviews. I haven't watched one of his yet though. Where do I buy the Masterpiece Transformers? I get them from tfsource.com. No, not sponsored, but TF Source, if you're out there, I'm available. But no, seriously, I get occasionally I'll get a figure like at, say, a Big Bad Toy Store, like if TF Source is sold out or something, or if they happen to have a good sale at the Big Bad Toy Store. Like I got paddles from Big Bad Toy Store because they had them for like $30, and I don't think TF Source had them at all. But generally I get everything from TF Source. I've got a pre-order stack a mile long. So that's where I get all the Masterpiece. I have got a couple of the Hasbro Masterpiece, like from Toys R Us, rest in peace. But most of the Masterpiece is coming from Takara. and they don't sell those at retail in the United States, so you have to get them from online somewhere, and that's the one where I got them. What bots am I missing? Actual figures, a lot. If you're talking about in a game, there's not many. We can go back over there and take a look though. Keeping us on task there, Kultaj. Keeping us on task. We're here to talk about Transformers Earth Wars, but I never really made that promise. It's a general Transformers show is kind of the way I look at it. Yes, we do talk about Transformers Earth Wars primarily, but it's never my intention to only be about Transformers Earth Wars. So there we go. We're scrolling through. It'll be easier to see who I don't have by going and looking at who I don't have. So most of the 5 stars I don't have. 4-star wise, it's Streetwise, Impactor, Cybertron Jetfire, Ultra Magnus, Windblade, Sandstorm, Goldfire, Sea Spray, Hotspot, and Gnaw. 3 stars, I'm missing Cybertron Jetfire, Streetwise, and Impactor. I have all of the 2 stars in, well, all of the 1 stars, but pretty much everybody's got all of the 1 stars. If you've, the only way anybody doesn't have all the 1 stars is if they just refuse to open free crystals. So, there you go. How many defensive battles have I won? Oh, we can look at that. That's actually a good thing. 1,078 days played for. Wow. Successful defenses 165. 165. So yeah, so there's my stats, guys. If you're take a screenshot, take a picture, it'll last longer. Or just watch the video again, because I'm not going to take it down or anything like that. Yeah, Shadow Prime's asking, what's my favorite realistic Optimus Prime? You mean like in the toys? Your favorite is the Age of Extinction and the Last Night Optimus Prime. You know, I really like that evasion mode Optimus Prime from Age of Extinction, and the Last Night Optimus Prime was actually one of the very good figures from the Last Night line, because I liked that new truck style and I liked the new bot style, but I hated every figure of it from Age of Extinction. They were too simple or too gimmicky or something like that, and I never got that. The only Age of Extinction Optimus Prime I got was evasion mode. Fortunately, the only good thing to come out of the Last Night, because it was kind of a terrible movie, was a really good Megatron figure. That Megatron was great, and also a good Optimus Prime figure. And there's a couple of other good figures too, I think. Although, you know, this guy might get up there pretty good. That Masterpiece movie Optimus Prime is pretty awesome, though. I have never transformed him into a truck mode, I don't think. But he is beautiful in robot mode. So if you can afford him, I definitely recommend that Masterpiece movie Optimus Prime. It's the same mold of Optimus Prime from the first movie, and I guess the second movie too. And I suppose the third movie even, he didn't change much from the first 3 movies. But yeah, that Masterpiece movie Optimus Prime is fantastic. Are people Impactor shaming me? Oh, come on. It ain't no big deal. It happens. Yeah. You know me, if you've watched any of my crystal cracking videos, you know by now that I don't get that upset by crystals. And, you know, I feel bad for people who do, but it's all chance. I know it's a chance. You know, I do spend a lot of money on crystals, so is it disappointing? Sure. It's disappointing if you go and spend $100, open a bunch of crystals, and you get no new bots, especially if you're really trying real hard to get new bots, but I know there's a chance of doing that, so I'm disappointed, but I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to say, you know, have a rage or anything like that, but, you know, it happens. Impactor, those were all free. Didn't have to pay a penny to get any of those Impactor crystals. If I got them, great. If not, I'll try again later. I have a feeling we'll be seeing Impactor and crystals in another event or two in the future. So let's see. Ninja Squirrel saying MMC Springer looks all right. I actually have the Saltus, if that's who you're talking about. I do have him. He's waiting to be shipped. He's going to come join his, well, I guess kind of girlfriend. This is the MMC. Well, it's technically Ocular Max, but yeah, it's the same people. This is Azalea. I just got her in with the other ones. I opened her first just because I figured she'd be a little bit simpler. Yeah, pretty much. And in case anybody's wondering, this is the Generations RC. So you can see she is quite a bit bigger. But this RC is still fantastic, the Generations RC. So if you're just looking for a really good looking RC, this will do ya. The only reason you'd want to go for her, or say like Fans Toys Rouge or something like that, is if you want a Masterpiece scaled RC. So yeah, so I went with her. Big D's asking on an estimate, how many toy figures do I have? It's well over 1,000. I need to update my inventory, but it's well over 1,000. Depending on how you count them, because I do count, like say if it's a Target Master or a Headmaster, I do count the Target Master and Headmaster separately because they are individual figures. But even if you didn't do that, it would probably still be a little bit over 1,000. CJ Watkins wants to join the alliance. What's it called? It's NonToxic Gamers. I know that's not obvious what it's called, but that's not obvious what that is, but that's what it's called. We are looking for headquarters 11 and 2,800 medals though. What are you saying? The Transform Element Optimus Prime looks great. I can't recall that one. I know there was some Masterpiece Optimus Primes, which I think is what you're talking about out there, that looked pretty darn good. That might be what you're talking about. Yeah, I definitely think some of those are good. What's my favorite combiner in the toy line? Yeah, it's definitely not Optimus Maximus. That toy is pretty much any combiner based around that Optimus Prime / Motormaster mold is poor, just because that's not a very good torso. It just does not hold together well at all. It's very hard to stand up. You kind of got to get a balancing act or something like that. The best combiners that came out are ones bit like Abominus or Superion that are based on that Silverbolt torso. That's a fantastic torso. It's very solid. Ratchet's in the right place, and it's so yeah. Superion is great. So Abominus, because Hunger is based around that Silverbolt mold, is also very good. Defensor and bots based around that Hotspot mold, they're good too. They're not as good as the ones using the Silverbolt mold. So that would be like Defensor, Bruticus, and Victorion are also all very good. I like Victorion because, you know, with all the combiners, Devastator was the first, and he was great because they all shared that unified color scheme. Every other combiner since then was kind of a different color scheme. They just kind of were mix and match. Everybody had their own color. They just kind of came together. Although I suppose Predaking, they were kind of unified as well. But think about it. What are the favorite combiners for most people? Devastator and Predaking. They've got the unified color scheme, and that's what Victorion brought back was the unified color scheme, and you know, so I like that. Plus, also, I know some people like, you know, Social Justice Warrior, whatever. No, I like the fact that as a team of female Transformers that form a female combiner. Yeah, I just in the backstory in the comics and stuff like that about the Rust Renegades and coming from Caminus and stuff like that. It's a great story. It really is. So I'm not saying you're wrong if you don't like her. I'm not saying if you're wrong if you do like other people or whatever. It's just, but that's my opinion. And Volcanicus is cool. But again, that Grimlock just is not as stable as that Superion. That Silverbolt mold. The Grimlock mold as a torso is not as stable, is not as good as I would have liked. I got the upgrade kit from Perfect Effect, and I think the what was it, the Transform Dreamwave or something? There was a couple of upgrade kits, and that definitely helped. That definitely helped. But Superion was great by himself. I mean, I did get the upgraded hands and feet for Superion, but that was it. And so, yeah, definitely any of the combiners based around that Silverbolt mold, for me, is definitely the best Combiner Wars combiner. Not including the 2 Titan class combiners in Devastator and Predaking. But even then, I still think they're pretty darn good compared to those guys. Because, again, those 2 Titan class combiners, as cool as they are in combined mode, their individual modes, huge sacrifices. Huge sacrifices. I mean, the Predacons as robots are okay. As animals are kind of just acceptable. As a combiner, Predaking's awesome. But individually, it's not as good as it could be. But these guys, the standard style, Scramble City style combiners, they have good robot modes, they have good vehicle modes, and we've kind of covered the combined modes. But the robot and vehicle modes don't sacrifice that much for the combined mode. Oh, goodness, excuse me. So, Michael, have I read the IDW comics? Yes, I have. I actually, I was a few years behind, but I went back and got all the back issues, and I have to admit, I've probably forgotten a lot of them. But I did read all the way from Megatron Origins, all the way up through the end of Lost Light, and the Unicron saga. And I recently just picked up the first couple of issues of the new reboot. Alliance just got into Caminus League. The first base was HQ4, the second was HQ7, and the third was HQ9. That doesn't sound like a Caminus League team. Unless those were like the... They must have done some swapping out after they'd already been into the Caminus League. Which families of alliances may tend to do that. Have I got any of the new defense cores on my base? I think I do. Nothing gold. Nothing gold yet. So I do have the Cybertron charge, the Cybertronian charge on my beam lasers. I think both of them. They're just bronze cores. Got them maxed out at level 5. It's better than nothing, though. It's better than nothing. Shock towers, I don't actually have any of the new defense cores for shock towers, so I just put a couple of gold defense cores on, or armor cores on them. So that's what I've got on the new. So no, I don't have any of the new shock tower cores, but hey, I can put cores on them, so I put those on there. And oh look, 2 more days and my shield generator will be done. That's not where it's going to be. That's just where I put it for now. Because, I mean, it's upgrading. It's not going to do anything. Any prediction on what Blade's ability will be? I have a feeling it... Yeah, it's hard to say. Because if we go back and look at the description for Blades, it sounds like he might end up being a melee fighter. Because they said he wants to get down and get dirty and get into street fighting and stuff like that. But he's a helicopter, and he's got missiles. So it would think that. So you'd think that it would be a ranged ability, but any bots like a gunner or an air bot with a ranged ability generally doesn't have a melee style fighting. Although I suppose Ultra Magnus and Galvatron, they've kind of got a ranged ability. They fire off the missiles off into a distance. So I'm thinking probably something like that, where it might be like a melee fighter with some kind of a ranged ability. That's what it does. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be missiles that heal. That was kind of a joke that I said earlier, because of missiles on a rescue helicopter. I don't think it's going to be a healing ability. I mean, I could be wrong. But the fact that he's countered with Dirge, and Dirge's description talks about causing just like a feeling of grossness and regret and depression, or whatever. I forget exactly what words they said. We could actually go back and look and see what it says. Acute paralyzing fear and disorientation is what how they describe his kind of engine sounds. So he doesn't sound like a healer at all, and they're going to have the same ability. So I don't think they're going to be healing. Dirge's ability should be exploding. Vortex type attack, or gunner with Alpha Bravo ability. You know, it's interesting with the helicopters. If you think about the helicopters, you got Alpha Bravo is a gunner who doesn't fly anywhere. He just kind of hovers and shoots out missiles. You got Skyburst, who's essentially a gunner who just hovers and shoots out missiles. Vortex is a gunner who just kind of hovers and shoots out missiles. Really, the only helicopter that flies, Springer notwithstanding, is Stormclash. She attacks like a jet. So maybe we'll see Blades finally be similar to Stormclash, where he goes and attacks like a jet, flies out, drops some bombs or missiles or something, and comes back and lands back where he started. Paired with Dirge, who is also a jet, it makes me think it will probably be something like that. Because Alpha Bravo is kind of paired with Long Haul, who's not a jet or a helicopter. Skyburst is paired with Onslaught, who is not a jet or helicopter. And Vortex is paired with Dust Up, who is not a jet or helicopter. So it's all those other helicopters, and Stormclash is just kind of off by herself. If anything, she's paired with Viper, who is a jet. They just have different abilities. But all those other helicopters, they're paired with a land-based vehicle, so it wouldn't make sense for them to fly to deliver their ability when those other ones can't. In this case, he's a helicopter paired with a jet. These guys are probably going to fly. That is what I think. Whether they're going to be have a gunner base attack, or an air base attack, or a melee base attack, remains to be seen. I'm thinking it sounds like they might be melee, but I think they're going to fly like a jet to deliver their attack instead of attacking from a distance. Shadow Prime says rush in kind of like Star Saber, but just shoots missiles when he lands and smashes whatever the target is. Yeah, that's possibly an idea. Yeah. Special class with air ability, sure. Is the Alliance full? I don't think so. No, we got 5 spots. Non-toxic gamers. Alright, Grand Galvatron, thanks for stopping by. Where did the sound go? Oh, there it comes. Alright. Have I watched or heard of Thew Adams? Of course I have. I'm actually a Patreon sponsor of him. I give him $5 every month because I love his videos so much. That dude is awesome. If you guys haven't heard of Thew Adams from Thew's Awesome Transformers Reviews, I don't think that's what his YouTube channel is called, but that's what it used to be called. The guy is fantastic. He's hilarious. He is fun. And he's pretty much everything I aspire to be on camera. Just a happy person who enjoys the Transformers. Sure, we point out the flaws where they're there, but ultimately at the end of the day, we're having a good time. And you know, I don't have his ability to do the portmanteaus to bring everything together. You know, I don't really have the love for light piping as he does. I mean, I appreciate light piping, but I mean, he's like light piping, and so that it is cool, and you know, that's his thing. But yeah, I do. I'm a huge fan of Theo Adams. He's just a great guy, and you know, I'd love to meet him someday. But you know, he's in the UK, and I'm here in the United States, and it would kind of be a big deal if we ended up doing something like that. I know he goes to conventions over there, and I haven't been to any conventions ever. I'd love to go someday or whatever. But yes, Big Bronze Rim, his 10 shots, 10 bots video, and it was funny because he didn't come up with that. Somebody else issued a challenge. He did one, and then he thought twice about it because he wasn't a full-time YouTuber at that point. He took it down. He's like, I don't know if that would be a good thing for my bosses to see or whatever. But apparently he talked it over with them. They're like, yeah, that's cool, dude. We don't care what you do in your spare time. So he put it back up. And don't forget, the knockoff beatdowns, amazing. Amazing. So, yes, Theo Adams, if you guys haven't, if that name is new to you, go look it up. You're going to love him. So. All right, so looks like everybody's... you know, taking off, and we are about that time. We've hit the 1 hour mark, and I do appreciate everybody stopping by. And you don't want to talk about toys anymore? Well, good, because we're not going to, because we're not going to talk about anything anymore, because we're getting out of here. But we will be talking about toys in the future, just like we'll be talking about Transformers Earth Wars in the future. Again, what time is it? What day is it? Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on my YouTube channel of Engineer Hoist. And one last question, Ectotron, what's your thought? Cool idea. I didn't get it. It was sold out by the time I went to go buy it, and you know, I'm not feeling any sense of loss. But if you got it, if you like it, especially if you're a huge fan of Ghostbusters, then definitely would be something to get. But I'm not going to chase it down. Anyway, so that's going to do it. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends. See you next time.